I'm Ryan Newman, and since I started with Indiana Donor Network and Driven to Save Lives, I found out that some people think that they can't be an organ donor. The truth is, anyone can sign up to be an organ donor.
Anyone?
Anyone?
Are you sure?
Yeah, I'm sure. Anyone can sign up to be an organ donor. So don't count yourself out because somebody's counting on you. Go to driventosavelives.org and sign up today.
But my heart's going to you, Ryan.
Love that shirt.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back. Another afternoon of Spec Corvette Series racing action coming to you from one of the world's most picturesque venues, WeatherTech Raceway, Laguna Seca. I almost called it Mazda Raceway, Laguna Seca. I can screw that one up. My name is Chris Graham. I'm joined in the booth, as always, by Mr. James Watson. Cole Carroll will be handling the camera work for us out at... out in the Corkscrew, and let's take a look here because we have John Wynn. We'll take things over to John Wynn's camera here because we have a couple of grid girls working the show for us here today. They're giving us the wave. Good afternoon, ladies. Hope you enjoy the show. A pile of Spec Corvettes out here. And James, we'll come to you first here. 13 cars out at WeatherTech Raceway Laguna Seca. This race is going to be a ton of fun to watch.
Yeah, this is a healthy grid. It's a great number to have going through this incredible track. And yeah, I'm looking forward to it. The onboard cameras are going to be incredible to see going through the Corkscrew. And we're going to be having an on-site camera there too. So yeah, we're going to get some great footage, great pictures going through one of the most iconic corners in all of motorsports, not just American motorsports.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And we are with, let's see here, we'll pull up the lower third, and we're riding with Kevin Jones in the number 39 out of Fairfield, California. At least that's who we're riding with for right now anyway, because now we can head on over, show you the rest of the cameras here. AP Miranda and the Aviati Jet Club on board. He will be piloting the 117 here this afternoon. Another of the Aviati Jet Club cars, that's going to be Tim Moser in the 107. A new Spec Corvette Series track record here at WeatherTech Raceway Laguna Seca. And we'll bring John Wynn's camera back in here. There you go. John's giving us the wave there. But, John, I don't know if you can hear us and talk to us or not, but Tim Moser's lap was absolutely insane out here. Yeah, I don't think John can hear us. The cars are already sitting on the grid and rolling. But a new track record here for Tim Moser. Also going to be able to go on board with Ole Thorderson and the Alvaca Networks on board. And the final of our onboard cameras that we're going to have here today will belong to Josh Carroll and the Insight on board for the Danville, California native. Oh, baby, what a look. How about this, James? Oh, the Whistle Pig Whiskey Showdown looking straight up the Corkscrew, just to the right of the WeatherTech billboard there, right between the WeatherTech billboard and the Marshall stand. You're going to see these cars slow to a crawl before diving 8 stories downhill. This is not a little hill that you were talking about here. If Cole, our camera guy, can hear us, just give us a little bit of a pan left down towards Rainy Corner. This is turn 8. Oh, look at that. Look at this. This guy's good. You make the run down the hill here, James, and then you keep going back into that left-hander at Rainy Corner. You lose, it's not height, you're losing altitude in this section of the racetrack.
Yeah, you're losing some brain function too because of how serious the drop is. Like, you're having to catch up on a lot. It's incredible what this corner does to man and machine.
Yeah, that is for sure. And we'll keep the onboard up here with Kevin because we need to first say a huge thank you to all of the presenting sponsors of today's Whistle Pig Whiskey Showdown. First off, a very, very big thank you to Whistle Pig Whiskey, independent, unbound by tradition, and a world apart from other American whiskeys. Push your boundaries of rye at whistlepigwhiskey.com. Also have to say a huge thank you to the fine folks at G-Stream Aero, race engineered, track proven, aerodynamics redefined. You can find them online at g-stream.com. Improved Racing Products, that is everything for the oil systems of these cars. You can find them at improvedracing.com, one of the presenters of the Spec Corvette series. I have to say a huge thank you to Penske Racing Shocks, as well as Sparco, TPS Motorsports, Track Spec Motorsports, Turn 1 Steering, and the presenting sponsor of the Spec Corvette series, Nankang Motorsport Tires. So let's see, we do not have the audio on it sounds like on Kevin Jones's car. So we will get ready to roll here, and let's see, make sure we got everybody else's audio fired up here. We are on board with AP Miranda. As the cars are lined up behind the safety car, let's get ready and show you the starting grid for this race. Starting on the pole with a new Spec Corvette track lap record of 1 minute 36.885 seconds. It is the 107 of Tim Moser. That car a rocket ship this weekend. On the outside of the front row will be Sun Valley, California's Mark LaCourte in the 173. Less than 0.4 of a second separating the two cars on the front row. Row number 2 will have AP Miranda, a smoking lap time, only 420 thousandths of a second off the pole, 1 minute 37.305. And on the outside, Danville, California's Josh Carroll. Again, only 0.75 of a second. We're 2 rows deep, and there's not a second between these cars. Row number 3, Ole Thorderson out of Danville, California. Just 8 thousandths of a second off the 1 second off of the pole time. Anyway, you mathing hard. On the outside of row number 3 will be Corona, California's David Holmes in the 171. 1 minute 37.919 seconds the lap time on that one. Row number 4, the 132 with Greg Nestor out of San Luis Obispo, California. 1.6 seconds off of the pace as we'll swap on over to the machine of Tim Moser. On the outside, San Fernando, California's Donnie York in car number 63. Fifth row of the grid will have Kevin Jones out of Fairfield, California, and Evan Gold from Carlsbad, California. Robert Carroll and Mike Sutton will occupy row number 6. All alone on row number 7 will be the 95 of Jeff Herbert. 13 cars making up the starting grid for today's Whistle Pig Showdown. And James, let's talk a little bit here about this race course and kind of the way you're going to make your way around. Having just come through, well, let's see, there we go. Okay. I thought we were losing cars here. Out of turn number 5, you're going to make the run up here to turn 6. This is a true hairpin turn, but it's not easy. Up the hill, and you better get it right because it is a hard pull up the hill to turn 7.
Yeah, up here, everyone talks about the corkscrew and its difficulty, but to me, right here, this is the most difficult corner on the track because it's a very tight, very quick kink, and it's a blind apex. You can't see where you're going. You're having to turn and hope that you're timing it right. And there's a curb, a sausage curb right there in the center, and if you turn too early, you will clobber that. Those don't feel good. The cars don't like that. So it can screw up your car and yeet you off into the sand and the dead grass.
Now we've just made our way on down the corkscrew on board with Tim Moser, getting you that look down the hill. It is absolutely crazy how that run down the hill goes. Then let's slide back here. We'll pick up Ole Thordarson in his machine, and field is getting doubled up down the hill. They're out of Rainey, then through the right-hander. One more 90-degree left-hand corner. Lap times will go pretty quick here at Laguna Seca. But this left-hander is so tricky, and again, critical to get the corner right because you've got a long run down up. Basically, they call it turn 1, but it's kind of just this soft little kink down to the Andretti hairpin for turn 2. Green flag's out. We are underway here at Laguna Seca.
Oh my goodness! Oh no!
Oh, we're still doubled up most of the way down. Who's it going to be into turn 1? Looks like it's going to be Moser and AP Miranda to the inside. One car sliding wide off to the outside. I think that's going to be... See who that was on the outside. That may have been Josh Carroll getting a little bit wide, but 5 cars all up in line. And let's go on board with Carroll. Yeah, that was Josh Carroll. Sliding a little bit wide at the exit of the corner. Ole Thordarson dropping back of Carroll as well. First time up through turn number 7. They're going to run their way up the hill as we're on board with 4th place, Josh Carroll. You hear how much they got off the throttle there, James. That's big. You get the car set, and then you're going to run it up the hill.
Yeah, because this is a great passing zone, if you're brave enough, of course. So you want to nail that kink, because if you can gain a lot of time through there, and you can get such a great run going up into the braking zone for the corkscrew. And because obviously you don't want to go side by side through there, if you're side by side and you have the preferred position, chances are the car you're passing is just going to have to give it up for self-preservation purposes. So that's one of, if not the best passing zone, as terrifying as that may be.
Cars starting to come across the line. AP Miranda going to lead lap number 1 in 1 minute and 42 seconds. 1:38.2 is actually the lap time. He has the fast lap of the race. Tim Moser, Mark LaCourte, Josh Carroll, Ole Thordarson, the top 5. Let's slide back in the field here a little bit because your top 4 are all pretty tight. But we're on board here with Kevin Jones. You can see the entire Spec Corvette field is all still pretty much nose to tail.
Yeah, this is incredible. You can practically throw a blanket on the entire grid right now. This is awesome.
See one car doing little Luke Bryan kick the dust up out of turn number 6. Oh, baby, side by side through. Oh, that's so gutsy. Go on board. This is Tim Moser. That was Tim Moser side by side with Mark LaCourte. LaCourte getting the pass made into turn number 7. Now you're going to blast your way into turn 8. Oh, my goodness. 2 tires off the ground. Dropping 5 stories. That's ridiculous.
Also, Mark LaCourte may or may not have a taillight out.
Get the inspection done on that car, sir. I don't think taillights are part of safety inspection here.
Pull over, you have to replace the taillight.
AP Miranda doing a whole lot of smack talk this week. Well, okay, AP does a lot of smack talk in general, but he was doing a whole bunch of smack talk earlier this week as they were getting ready for this race, talking about how he was going to absolutely gap the field. I don't know that gapping the field is what's going on, but that car looks very, very strong at the front now. Lap time down, setting a new fastest lap down to 1:37.758 seconds. Riding on board here with Tim Moser.
Yeah, he's not gapping them quite yet, but he, from the moment the green dropped, he was hell-bent on backing up that trash talk. Like, it's not often you see 3 wide going down into the Andretti hairpin on lap 1, and everyone lived to tell the tale, but wow, that was a jaw-dropping move from AP to get the lead right there at the jump.
Yeah, of note here, too, the corkscrew is not smooth. The car's bouncing up and down the entire time that you're making your way through there. Trying to get you guys some ambient car sound stuff here, too.
Thankfully, it is a lot smoother now that they just wrapped up the repave here not too long ago. But yeah, it's still not the most smoothest racing surface you'll see. You know, just from natural undulation and elevation change and all that good fun.
Yeah, and now they're starting to already come through the slower class field. This may open the door for Mark LaCourte to have a shot. Not quite there. Passing Jettas, passing Spec Miatas. This is going to make this race interesting now because we're only 5 minutes in and working our way through lap traffic. In addition to the Spec Corvette class, STUs, SMGs, ITXs, ITAs, ITS. There's even an SMG out there on the racetrack. These cars lapping upwards of 2 minutes in lap time. It's crazy how this is all going to eventually shake out here. Let's get ready here. They're heading up the hill, heading off towards Cole Carroll. He's going to have the look as they come down the hill.
Yeah, the Miata right there, just seeing it mirror, and he's like, nope, I want no part of this. Doing the great thing to give way.
Oh man, what a shot. Love seeing these cars just flying down through the corkscrew.
Oh man, Josh Carroll got held up just a little bit by him though. Nothing the Miata can do. This is a very difficult track for multi-class racing. This is narrow and difficult. That's the worst thing you can imagine when you're the lap car and you have the leaders breathing down your neck. Oh my goodness.
Whoa! Oh, that is so tight with Tim Moser and AP Miranda. Oh, they're almost making contact down to the Andretti hairpin.
Oh, Tim saw his opportunity and he took it, but great job by Mark to hold him off. I tell you, AP Miranda, that is exactly what he wanted to see. I was just thinking that AP wasn't able to get through the lap traffic as well as the other two, but yeah, it's not the case anymore. AP was fully cleared of all that mess while the other two were fighting for their lives right there.
Yeah, that had the potential to be an absolute mess. Man, hear the car bottom out over the curbs. That's not a real pleasant feeling.
No.
There's AP Miranda. You can see the gap was only 1 second. As we'll go back on board here now with Tim Moser. Tim falling off the back of Mark LaCourte ever so slightly. 8 minutes in to this race now. Oh, he's going to gain a bunch back up, though, as they head down towards that final 90-degree. I guess it's what, turn 11, that left-hander. Over the line, the gap went from 1 second to 2.7 seconds between AP Miranda and Mark LaCourte. Got to thank everybody that's tuned in, by the way, here on YouTube. Possibly on our Facebook channel, as well as more lap traffic, more Miatas. Oh, they're everywhere. They're like flies. But gotta say thank you to everybody that's tuned in. Make sure you get the comments in. Let us know where you're watching from, who you're rooting for, who's your pick to win. We can get those comments up on the screen. And if you're so inclined, the super chats, the super thanks, all that stuff is there as well. Oh, whoa, big slide by Moser. Wow. That was huge for Tim Moser.
He was starting to reel Mark in. You know, Mark getting really stuck behind the lap traffic.
There's AP, LaCourte, and Moser making their way through, followed by Josh Carroll. Let's take a look here. We're going to go on board with Kevin Jones, as Kevin is also now starting to fight these big groups of Miatas and everything else that's making their way around this place. But take the look back over to Tim Moser's on board, as he's still trying to chase down Mark LaCourte. Just a tick over 10 minutes into this race now. 25 minutes. Whoa!
Oh,
big slide and LaCourte's off! Huge spin for Mark LaCourte. Oh, but he is going to lose a ton of time.
Yeah, he's completely off the podium now.
There's Ole Thorderson getting around Mark LaCourte.
That is shocking. We never see something like that happen to Mark LaCourte.
Well, when you're trying to chase somebody down as hard as you are, I'm going to say it is quite lucky for Mark LaCourte. Oh, his AP Miranda's off in the corkscrew. Miranda slides off wide, trying to get around the Miata. And that's allowed Tim Moser to catch right back up. This is the battle for the lead.
What is happening this lap?
Man alive, we're not even to the halfway point yet.
Oh, great runoff exit for Moser. But man, I don't know what in the power band, but AP was just able to gap him in the middle of the straightaway.
Well, it's funny that you say that, James, because talking with John Wynn on our last broadcast of the East region for the Spec Corvette series, they've implemented a new torque spec as well. So it's not just 380 horsepower that they're limited to. It's also, I believe, 380 pound-feet of torque as well. So basically what they're doing is they're putting all of these engines on as equal of a footing as you can possibly put them on. Let's run down the field for you here as we're right about to the halfway point. AP Miranda is your leader over Tim Moser. Josh Carroll holding third. Ole Thorderson and Mark LaCourte complete the top 5. 6 through 10, David Holmes, Greg Nestor, Donnie York, Kevin Jones, and Evan Gold. Robert Carroll, Jeff Herbert, and Mike Sutton round out your 13-car Spec Corvette field here with 12 minutes and 40 seconds complete. Moser, great rundown out of the corkscrew and into Rainey, really putting a lot of pressure on AP Miranda.
Yeah, he got through the corkscrew so much better than Miranda that time. It's hard to say who was better through Rainey. That's the thing about Rainey Curve, is that there's so many different ways to take it, and any one of them could be the way to get through it. You know, it's a really unique corner because it's kind of a closing radius curve. Or you're not entirely sure when the turn-in point is. You can either take a late entry into it and then cut down, or you can kind of take a middle or early entry into it and not have to deal with so much surface that you have to cover to get down into the apex of it. It just depends on your driving style and how your car is feeling.
Well, thank you very much for the kind words, Super Snallygaster. I'm not entirely sure if that is a joke just to get me to say Super Snallygaster, but you got me to say it twice now. Unfortunately, Kevin Jones's camera has decided to, well, not look at much of anything anymore. We'll take this one here very quickly. Is Moser trying to get caught back up to Miranda down through the corkscrew. There's Kevin Jones. Sorry, buddy. We're not coming back to your camera here. But now on board with Josh Carroll. Running in third and just hung up behind one of the slower cars. Not off of there. You see, you got the point out the window that says, go ahead, take me left. And then you get the little wave that says, hey, thanks, man. I appreciate you. Oh, baby. Side by side. Moser trying to get around Miranda. Oh, they almost touch. Oh, my goodness. Oh, he's going.
Oh, he's trying to use the lap car as a pick. Oh, that was a ballsy move by Miranda to just dive in just a little later and able to clear Moser again. We thought Moser had the send on that one, and AP sent it more. Incredible.
Yeah, that's it. These guys are not screwing around. The Aviati Jet Club guys. They are going to start making their way down out here towards turn number 6. We'll get you another look from the corkscrew with this battle as they're going to head their way up through 7. AP really having to use a lot of brakes. Oh, he bobbles, slides wide.
Oh, we're getting the corkscrew cam is getting ready to see something great.
Miranda grabs a little dust. Oh, little slide back end. Great look for the battle between the two Aviati cars. Oh, and look at this. Good battle here going on for third as well. Let's take a look and pick up Oli. No, it wasn't Oli. It's Josh Carroll, who is just ahead of, I believe, that's going to be Mark LaCourte. Back up into position number 4. Keep your eye on the upper right-hand corner. Oh, well, there we go. Looks like we may have lost them again a little bit here, so. Back on board with Tim Moser. He's got the good battle. Ole Thorderson, Mark LaCourte swapping the 4th and 5th positions. Greg Nestor, Dave Holmes, Donnie York all having a great battle for 6th and 7th as well. Oh my goodness, we're only 17 minutes into this thing. And a fantastic duel here at the front of the field.
AP just a little wide right there.
And it's not much. All it takes is a tiny little mistake. And all of a sudden, you're not having a real good time.
Yeah, they widen the track ever so slightly in a few places on the exit curbing, which can be life-saving in a lot of areas of the track. So you're not quite on the racer's edge in some of these corners as you had been in the past around here.
Oh,
but wow.
One car way off the racetrack. A lot of dust kicked up there out of turn 10.
Yeah, I believe it's that Miata right there in front of our leaders. Thankfully, not causing any trouble. Just a bit of a special effects moment for our two lead combatants.
Yes, special effects is one way of putting it.
Yeah, like, I think, that looked like a Miata parked where a Miata shouldn't be, right there by the wall. You can't park there, sir.
Yeah.
And more special effects. Yeah, coming up to the exit, I believe right here, you'll see just right there, that little extra strip of asphalt. Well, that's really handy to have, and right here too. If you compare it to the scan iRacing has, all you have is the exit curbing and then grass, and you tend to track out wide those corners, even when you don't want to. So having that extra strip of asphalt now, that's really handy, just in case the car does want to track out a little wider than you really want to. You have that to help keep on the track. Not like the Miata right there.
Yeah, by the way, there we go. Now we're able to get the timing tower up for you. Oh, we got Dave Sanders checking in the comments. Dave, what's going on, buddy? Glad to see you hanging out with us here, the Northeast region, checking in. Dave, I need you to send me a message because you're local to me. We need to shoot some stuff for these Spec Corvette Series broadcasts.
It's interesting watching Miranda's line through the Andretti hairpin. And they both kind of take a late entry, trying to kind of take a late apex and straight shot it off. But while Tim goes directly down into the inside curbing on the second part of it, AP keeps a little wider, and it looks like he's able to carry a little more momentum off of the corner. It doesn't look like the right line, but you can see he pulls Tim a little bit off of the corner. So while it doesn't look like what you should be doing, it's working for him.
As they head up to the corkscrew. Oh, a little bit of a lockup for one of the Miatas. Here they come down the hill. Oh, this is going to be so tight through Rady. Because AP has to run a much wider line than what's preferred. Tim able to carry a little bit more speed. Nothing going, though, into turn 10.
Ooh.
Now, that little bit of difference in entry, though. AP was able to enter turn 11 from the, air quotes, normal position. Tim had to enter it really shallow to get past that Miata. You can see how much that cost him in top speed down the straightaway.
Yeah, like, he had to take such a shallow entry in, and he had to put more wheel and wait to get off the throttle.
AP Miranda! Miranda spun one of the Miatas! Oh, my goodness!
Tim Moser's the biggest loser. He's losing second. Oh, there's more contact.
Josh Carroll getting around Tim Moser. Carroll able to take advantage. Wow, that car twitchy loose on exit.
So, this begs the question. The Spec Corvette series very much does not like contact. But that's, oh boy. Oh no, this is not where you want to be side by side. Oh no!
Through 7! Wow! What a pass! Can
we just tip our cap to Josh Carroll? The absolute last corner you want to be side by side, and he tried to stay side by side. Like, talk about just giving it your all. That is, I had no words. That whole lap has been nuts.
So now, 23 minutes on the clock. I don't know what race control may say, and this is Laguna Seca race control, may say about AP Miranda.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to get to before the battle for second. The Spec Corvette series does not like contact, and that's, Spec Corvette to Spec Corvette. I don't know what their opinions and their thought process is on Spec Corvette to slower class traffic contact.
Oh, now they're catching up to one of the other Spec Corvettes as well. That's going to be the 36. That's Mike Sutton. So that time over the line, Miranda, Moser, and Carroll, the top three. By the way, it's only another 2.5 seconds back to Ole Thordarson from Josh Carroll. He's getting close. And Mark LaCourte was 4/10 off the back of Thordarson.
So the question is,
lots of carbon fiber. Whoa!
That
was lots of body parts on the racetrack.
I don't know if he was involved or part of it, but Miranda was held up by it. Look at that. Now it's a three-way battle for the lead. And this might be just a two-way battle depending on what race control wants to do about the Miranda-Miata contact if we see a penalty lobbied.
Oh, Josh Carroll is right there. They're nose to tail. 1, 2, and 3 over the line. Looking for a flag. There's the checkered flag. Checkered flag is out. AP Miranda tentatively gets the win at Laguna Seca. Tim Moser will come home second. Josh Carroll third. That race went checkered at 25 minutes. It was not more than 3 or 4 seconds past 25 minutes.
They couldn't have given us one more lap. One more lap of this would have been insane. We would have had all three of them throwing haymakers. I gotta say, I'm a little bit disappointed. I want one more lap. One more lap.
Yeah, really. Give us one more. Go on board with AP Miranda, your race winner. Flag to flag race winner. Miranda, Moser, Carroll, Thorderson, LaCourte, the top 5. They're going to be followed home by Greg Nestor, Donnie York, Kevin Jones, Evan Gold, and Robert Carroll. Looks like, let's see. Mike Sutton going to come home in the 11th position, followed by David Holmes and Jeff Herbert. Both of those cars going out fairly early in this race, being scored 4 laps down behind your race leaders. But, oh, man, so much drama. Nearly contact several times between Miranda and Moser. And then there was contact on the racetrack between AP Miranda and a Spec Miata. I don't know. We will wait to hear both from Race Control and Spec Corvette Series officials. Contact is penalized in the Spec Corvette Series. I don't know what the rule book says, if it expressly says Corvette on Corvette violence, or if it's violence of any kind that is penalized. But either way, there was some right side romance from AP Miranda on one of those Spec Miatas.
Yeah, and like the reason they do that is to make sure there's no incentive for crazy, unnecessary driving, you know, because this is casual, quote unquote, because it's a lot more entry level. Although the moves and the driving and the effort we saw going on was very much not casual, they were giving it their all. But because this is an entry-level series, they try to make sure that no one is just pushing people off and not seeing any extreme moves and damaged race cars. And conventional wisdom, you think that would also 100% stretch over to interacting with the slower classes, because you don't want the Spec Corvette guys throwing dive bombs and unnecessary moves trying to get through lap traffic and damaging their cars and the slower class cars. So I imagine that we might, just to keep a consistency level, I kind of imagine we might be seeing something, but I don't know. That's, like we said, that's up to race control. I'm just giving my thoughts on what I think may end up happening.
Yeah, I don't necessarily disagree with you on that. We will get word from Race Control and Spec Corvette Series officials, and we'll pass that along to you tomorrow afternoon, about 5 o'clock-ish Eastern Time, 2 p.m. if you're out there on the West Coast. The feed is already up. It'll also be updated on the Spec Corvette Series website. Do not miss tomorrow's racing action if it's going to be anything close to what we saw today. But I have to say a huge thank you to all of the sponsors of the Spec Corvette series that help make these broadcasts possible, including today's presenting race sponsor, Whistle Pig Rye Whiskey, independent, unbound by tradition, and a world apart from other American whiskeys. Push the boundaries of rye at whistlepigwhiskey.com. Also need to say a huge thank you to G-Stream, provider of aerodynamic parts. Aerodynamics redefined, race engineered, and track proven. You can find them online at g-stream.com. Improved Racing Products, providing all of the oil system products and needs here for our Spec Corvettes. You can find them online at improvedracing.com. I have to say a huge thank you to Penske Racing Shocks, the official shocks of the Spec Corvette series. Sparco, providing a variety of racing safety equipment. You can find them online at sparco.com. TPS Motorsports, providing parts to upgrade America's favorite sports and muscle cars, including the Corvette, Mustang, Camaro, Charger, Challenger, GTO, GT40, the Lightning, and more. You can find them online at tpsmotorsports.com. Track Spec Motorsports is your best source for everything Spec Corvette parts. You want to get into building one of these Spec Corvettes? TrackSpecMotorsports.com has to be the first place that you visit after the Spec Corvette series official website. Also need to say a big thank you to Turn 1 Performance Steering. Have confidence in your steering. Visit turn1steering.com. Also, thank you to Willwood Brakes, the official brake partner of the Spec Corvette series. You can find them online, willwoodbrakes.com. And last but not least, the presenting sponsor of the Spec Corvette series, Nankang Motorsport Tires, the street legal tire of the Spec Corvette series, setting faster lap times than some of the cars on full racing slicks, courtesy of those absolutely fantastic Nankang tires. But with that, it is about time for us to get the heck on out of here. A fantastic show today. The Whistle Pig Whiskey Showdown at WeatherTech Raceway, Laguna Seca. This one has been awesome. Thank you very much to Cole Carroll handling the corkscrew camera duties for us. John Wynn with the camera on the grid. James Watson joining me in the booth. And my name is Chris Graham. We thank you so much for coming to hang out with us here today. And we look forward to seeing you all tomorrow. Until then, have a great night, everybody.